What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Slackercast. I'm Greg.
I'm Lawrence.
Dustin.
And we'll be joined here shortly by Hayden from the Cornelius Collection podcast. I think he's having some internet issues tonight. Actually, I am too. I'm hoping we can get through this show without it derailing things too much.
Hey, Jonathan Cantrell, we love you too, man.
Jonathan with that Georgia peach.
Oh, I thought that was a heart. I'm sorry.
I thought it was a booty.
It's a peach. You know what Nicolas Cage says about peaches?
No. What's he say?
Have you saw Face Off recently? You know what he says. You can eat a peach for hours.
No.
All right, there we go. And here he is, public enemy number one, Hayden Cornelius.
I shouldn't have tried to open a new tab because my internet's running slow, and it kicked me out of everything. But I'm here.
All right, as the title says, tonight is all about Squid Game. I finally finished it, Dustin. You know what? I apologize. You were right, man. I should have already been watching this shit.
I told you, man. The show was good.
Yeah, good call on that. That was a great show.
Yeah.
Had you heard about it before I said anything, Lawrence?
I did. There was a guy, he was like a junkie at my job. He kept talking about it. I'm like, I ain't watching that shit, man. Like,
a junkie?
Shit ever. Yeah, he's a guy that works with me, and he's a just major stoner. He ain't a junkie. He's just a stoner. I just don't take nothing he says serious. And then you finally said, I'm like, man, that's the second person to say something about the Squid Games. So I watched it, and I'm like hooked. I'm mad because I'm waiting for the next season. I usually wait 10 years for a show to end. Now and this is what it feels like to be on time.
Yeah. Should be interesting. So,
Yeah.
Greg, what did you think, man? I think he's frozen.
He fell asleep.
Oh, he fell asleep.
Jonathan, don't sleep on it, man. I said the same thing.
Don't sleep on it, man.
Yeah, it is really good.
What else is there on Netflix? You know
I don't know. Tiger King 2 is about to come out.
Well, hey, there's a show called Midnight Mass that I haven't watched, but everyone's been talking about that being really great. I'll probably watch that next, personally.
You know what, man? Outside of the true crime stuff on Netflix, I was watching Daredevil for the first time, and I'm like, can they get better lighting in that show? I can't see anything.
So it's really dark?
Yeah, the Netflix Daredevil is really dark, and everyone keeps saying about the hallway scene. There's like a hallway fight scene, but outside of that, it's kind of slow. So I don't know.
I think they kind of do that on purpose. I got through the first season of Daredevil and the first season of Jessica Jones, and then I started to watch the second season of Jessica Jones, and then I don't know.
That's really good, but Daredevil is really slow. I just got to where Kingpin showed up, and I love the guy that got to play him because he looks like fucking Kingpin.
And he's rumored to, like, he's going to be Kingpin if they ever put him in movies and stuff. It's rumored that Daredevil might be in this Spider-Man movie.
Well, it's interconnected with the MCU, so I think all those are the Luke Cage, because they make mentions of like Thor and Iron Man in them. So,
well, it's tricky because after Disney completely owned Marvel, and then they came out with Disney Plus, they basically bought all the rights to those shows and canceled all of them. So.
Yeah, no, they only
tricky did as far as like the actors and stuff go.
Yeah.
Well, do you guys think that all the iterations of Spider-Man are going to show up in the new movie?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
They've already confirmed that, I think.
Have they? I know that Andrew Garfield.
They haven't actually confirmed it. Like, there's no like actual actors that come out and say that they're going to be in there. But I mean, it's pretty well known.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I think they all will be, but Andrew Garfield's really going hard on the denying.
Yeah.
Why is it all on his shoulders?
I don't know.
Because everyone hates him as Spider-Man.
I'm like, what did he do?
Everyone hated his version of Spider-Man.
So, what did y'all keep the people entertained with while I was gone?
Netflix.
We were talking about Netflix shows. Other Netflix shows.
Daredevil. I got through like 2 seasons of it, and I was basically like, after that.
Yeah, I got through 3 episodes. So
All those shows are kind of meh. They're like good, but like not good enough to like really get you hooked where you want to just sit down and binge
not
all
Squid
of them.
Games. Yeah, it's no Squid Game.
No, it's no Squid Game.
Let's talk about it, man. We're back, Greg. So what do you think?
Oh shit, he's asleep again.
Oh, don't stop doing that, man. Oh, got a new house, a new internet.
He's like gone again.
No, he's there.
There he is.
Dude, I don't know what's going on tonight. My shit's acting weird. Anyway,
You're gonna have to
so
plug it straight in.
I can't. That's the problem. My cable hasn't came in to do that yet. That's the next plan. But Squid Game. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's talk about it, Greg.
All right, Dustin, you had a lot to say. You go first.
Well, I kind of said my piece
you
before.
said it already last week.
Yeah, but now you can talk about the spoilers, like the things.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, you have to have some things.
I didn't listen to the thing that Hayden sent us earlier. I should have. I forgot. But about the ending. But I was a little disappointed with the way that it ended. I thought it was kind of. I mean, the twist was cool, but like the end, where he goes back to the Squid Game, where he's going to go back.
Hold on, wait. Let's not jump to the end. Let's at least start with the first game. I mean, if we jump to the end, it's going to be a very short podcast. But I want to ask this first. Like, what was y'all's favorite out of the games? Like, which one was your favorite?
Oh, definitely the cookie one, because there was so much at stake. It was so simple but so hard, and I feel like that's the best. That sums up Squid Game. You're playing kids games, but you die, and it's like it's so easy, but there's so much at stake.
The cookie game was definitely like besides episode 6 where I felt the most emotion is because my anxiety was like at an all-time high because I'm just watching these people try to get these like scrape this cookie out with a needle, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, the whole time, just on the edge of your seat.
Well, dude, I love the part where they get their shape. They pick a shape, don't even know what the game is, and then dude picks an umbrella for some reason. They're like, you have to try to get out of a cookie, and he just dies. Like you see the emotion in his eyes.
Oh yeah,
he's
like I'm
fuck, why did I pick that umbrella? He picked the hardest shape, and I would have felt the same way. Like, God, that was such a good, just the emotions.
Yeah.
Well, like what was crazy is like past the first game, you know, the red light, green light, they didn't know what they were going into at that point. But then after that game, they're like, well, fuck, what are they going to throw at us next? And then they're trying to come up with strategy, but there really is none. No. Because you have no idea what these sick fucks are going to throw at you. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, they all quit after the first game.
That's true, they did.
They took the boat and they went back to South Korea, and then they had to go back, and then they all decided to go back. But
well, dude, that's what's great about it, is because it showed how shitty their lives were on the outside, that it really didn't matter. And that was 1 billion won. I mean, would you pass that up, man? I don't know how much that is in American dollars, but shit.
I'm assuming it's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I really like the glass bridge because I don't know why, but falling to my death is very scary. Like that's what I was thinking about the whole time. Is I'm like, shit, man, I wouldn't want to fall to my death. Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Hayden, have you ever worked on a roof before or been on top of a roof?
I've been on a roof. I've never done like roof work, but
I already don't like heights, so that probably would have been a bad one for me.
I would have been that guy with the way my luck goes. I would have been that guy with the bridge game. That the first fucking step I took, I would have fell through the tempered glass.
Yeah.
Dude, that sucked. And why did the guy tell him that he was a glass maker just saying this shit out loud? You were winning until you said that, and then they fixed the game. They turned the lights out on him. And I'm like, you should have just kept that to yourself, guy. Like, don't tell him how your strategy is.
Well, I mean, the people that are running the Squid Games didn't know until they looked at his profile because they're like,
well, no, he told them at first. He kept saying like, I used to do this for a living, and then they went in his files and seen that, and like, how did he get past this? Oh, we'll fix that. And they turned the lights out, and he died, and that was the end of him.
I mean, he to be fair, he only died because of what's his name? I can't think. Song-woo, yeah.
Song-woo is my favorite dudes, man.
I don't know why
yeah.
he turned out to be a fucking.
He was a
prick.
piece of shit. No, he gave indications that he was going to be a piece of shit when he let old boy pick the umbrella.
Oh, the Indian, yeah.
When he knew the game.
Yeah.
The Indian, the Pakistani guy that he betrayed,
That was sad, man. That's fucked up.
Greg,
is that
should
your
we jump to
favorite
that
character?
episode? Should we jump to episode 6, Greg?
Well, yeah, we'll jump to it in just a second because I want to touch like on the characters first and talk about like which ones you connected with, which ones you didn't. Like right off the bat, of course, what was it? Ji-hoon. Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was a Y or an H, but Ji-hoon. Right off the bat, I like that guy because of his down on his luck story. I'm like, hey, I can relate with that.
Yeah.
But, I
Is that
liked
the main
him.
guy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know anybody's names. I just know them by like snake tattoo guy.
Yeah, that's
I don't
like
know.
main guy, SNU guy,
Yeah.
I made up names.
thief girl.
Crazy lady.
M. Night
Crazy old
Shyamalan.
lady.
See, it's weird though. Like the
He looks like him, dude.
We'll just call him that because it'll make it easier than us trying to mispronounce our names the whole time. But the pickpocket girl that also had the connection with the tattooed face guy.
Korea, yeah.
I like at first I didn't like her. I was like, oh, this fucking
Yeah.
bitch. And I grew attached to her actually kind of quick.
Same here. I
And then-
would have fucked the shit out of her too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Come on
she wasn't
over.
bad. She wasn't bad for an Asian.
those little freckles, man. She had that Lucy Liu thing going on.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
I'll say this, San-woo, we say he's a piece of shit because of what he did, but like, and you're right, Dustin, he did give indications, but here's the thing. I like that it was a part of his background. Like, he was a businessman, so he was perfectly primed for this thing because he did not care about anyone. He handled it like a business. Like, he made deals that he knew would get people
He was
killed.
playing. Hey, Jamie.
He was
Thanks
playing the
for joining.
game. Oh, hey, Jamie. What's up?
But he
Hello.
was playing them from the jump, man. He was
Right.
like, all right, if I'm doing it after the first game, he already knew. He's like, all right, I'm gonna need more than just myself to make it through all of this. So he already started to assemble his team. Then he knew he could play on Ji-hoon's emotions because they're lifelong friends. So
I think
right
they were
there,
cousins, weren't they?
No, they were just best friends.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're just childhood friends, but could play on him easy because of that connection. Then he helped out the Pakistani guy, so he could easily play on him. Like, hey, I was generous to you.
Exactly.
The only
Right,
one
yeah.
that he really didn't have like a handle on was the
Pickpocket girl. Exactly. That's what made her an enemy. That's why he had to kill her at the end because he couldn't control her. But like, Greg, what'd you think of the theory that he never went to that college? Remember, it was like a big deal that he. Went
I
to some
actually
college?
believe that. I
don't think he ever went.
because every time anyone ever talked about it, he instantly changed the subject. What I think happens, he ran some type of semi-successful
Illegal business.
criminal illegal business, and then got in debt to a bunch of loan sharks.
Yeah.
Oh, he fell asleep.
That's a hell of a way to fall
Look
asleep.
at the face, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that every time he freezes.
Started-
Man. We're sorry, guys,
Fuck.
but like,
Oh,
did
we
he
can
say
hear
fuck?
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you hear him.
You just hear him say "fuck."
That connection, man. I don't know.
It's not your fault, it's the area.
Hey, go ahead and talk about it a little more, guys. I'm gonna do a restart and see if that fixes anything because it's never been like this before. There's something's going on. So
Hayden,
So
what
Lawrence-
did you think of episode 6?
with the
hold on, don't
marbles.
get to 6 without me. God damn.
We gotta take
till I
2
get
hours
back,
on
shit.
episode 5.
Where should we start?
Fuck it, we'll just wing it. Let's go.
Yeah, just get
So,
some.
Oh.
all right, y'all want to discuss 6? We'll jump into it. We'll jump right into 6 because that was easily the episode that once you reach that one, you can't go back. That episode fucked me up.
What part of it fucked you up the most?
It was like a trifecta of death of people that I grew to care about.
Like the
So,
old
like-
man, the Pakistani guy, and
The girl,
And
one of the
just
girls.
like
Yeah, the girl
Yeah.
scene is honestly one of the more sad ones because the one girl's like, she's like, I don't have anything, you have something, like, so just, it's fine, let me die.
Dude,
It's like, fuck.
that was deep. That was probably the more emotional.
And the Pakistani, like, he got tricked. He was gonna win. And the
Oh
dude,
yeah, that was
Wu
fucked up
him.
too.
That was Sam Wu and that businessman.
God, it's like I didn't give a shit about the Pakistani guy. Like, I thought he was a pussy the whole time, and I knew he was gonna die. I didn't give a shit about the old man either, to be honest.
I like the old man. I hated him.
I liked the old man. I was like, well, I was waiting for him. I'm like, oh, this is where every episode you're like, this is where he's gonna die right here. Then he's gonna die right here, and then you're like,
well, dude, you think he's gonna fuck up everybody by pressing yes, but he says no because you're like, he has nothing to lose, and he says no. So he always surprises you. And then with the dementia, remember he was acting stupid in that game.
Yeah.
With the marbles? He's like,
yeah, with the marbles.
like, this is a children's game. This is stupid. I gotta go home.
To be honest, I think I hate him because I know what the twist is at the end. And looking back, it makes me not really like him.
Yeah, because
Hayden?
well, that's why, because they make you fall in love with him, and then it turns out you have no clue, and then it turns out he's the bad guy, and it's
It's
like
like he was faking the dementia
But
the
he had
whole
a good
time.
reason. He had a good reason.
What was the reason?
He said, "Look at that bum over there. See that guy?
Man. I don't want to jump all the way to the end already, like
I know,
Greg was saying, but there's a lot that I did and didn't like about that scene.
We'll get to that
at the very end. But yeah,
the old man was good. And all I can say is that he tricked me. He really did trick me.
He tricked me too. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I had no idea. And then they show him, and I'm just like, wait, what? And then you start going back and thinking about it. And then if you go back and watch like YouTube and stuff, there's a lot of Easter eggs that you miss. Like apparently like in the tug of war scene, you can when they're all laying on the ground, well, they were chained to the rope. Well, the old man was not chained to the rope.
Wait, what?
I was wondering that because I said if he would have died, then he really would have died. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, his wristbands didn't have locks on them like everyone else.
Oh, dude, I need to watch this video.
The Easter eggs, dude. This is probably chock full of them.
What I miss?
So we were just talking about how there's indicators throughout the movie that the old man is actually the villain.
So we're already past the episode 6.
No, we want to go back to your thoughts on episode 6. So,
well, as you know, I was texting you after I watched all of this, and it was so it affected me so bad. First off, I get home, I'm excited to watch. I'm like, all right, this is the episode they're telling me about. I'm ready to go. It's like everyone's telling me that get my tissues ready. What happens as soon as I walk through the front door? Go to the kitchen. Here comes my kid out of the bedroom. Immediately, I'm like, fuck. So I had to try to distract her with something so I can watch this episode. So she starts playing with her toys or whatever, and then I'm like, all right, I can watch this because she's not paying attention. So I start watching. And then all the stuff goes down. The death with the chick, that one got me.
Yeah.
Then how Sunwoo did the Pakistani dude. I wish I could remember his name. I don't like calling him just Pakistani dude. That seems kind of fucked up.
It either. Yeah.
I called him Anwar.
Just call him M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I think that's worse than just calling him Pakistani.
Yeah, it probably is.
But no, the way he did that, man,
names.
That's when I immediately turned against that character right there. I was like, you know what, man? I understand you got to do what you got to do to survive, but you lost fair and square, so fuck you. It's like, that's messed up.
But nothing's fair. All is fair and no more than.
But then those feelings completely went away whenever I saw how Ji-hoon did the old man. I was like, oh, well, fuck. It's like, I like this guy, and he's doing him like this, so I can't really hate on the other guy. So already, I'm mixed up. My emotions are all over the place.
But I don't know. The old guy, he was obviously showing signs of dementia. I don't know if I can honestly say I would have done things differently if I was in the main guy's shoes.
And he kind of told him, and he kind of told Ji-hoon, like, it's okay, like, it's all right, just let me lose.
And I got more to say about that after we talk about the ending part of it, because I think it's, and I just have more to add on that then. But like after it was over, after I saw all the deaths, which were devastating, dude, I was like about to damn near like break down. So I'm like, get up. I go to my hallway. I'm pacing back and forth. My daughter comes up to me. She's like, Daddy, are you gonna cry? And I was like, oh no, I'm good. I was like, I have to sneeze. It's like I have to sneeze and I can't. She's like, are you gonna be okay? I'll say bless you. And I'm like, oh. I'm like trying to hold it together. She's being cute. And I'm like, oh man, this is too much. And I couldn't do any more after that. Like she went to bed. I was like, I couldn't watch anymore.
It gets better.
As soon as they said what the game was, I was like, oh no. I was like, this is going to be so bad.
Man. But the snake face dude, he got lucky by the skin of his teeth. That son of a bitch. Like, he barely won that marble.
Did we all equally hate that motherfucker?
I did. I hated I hated to like him. It was like a love-hate.
God, I hated that dude.
He was, and that was almost every game. He would always escape like right at the end until the last bridge.
Until that stupid old bitch.
The casting on that guy was so good though.
It was,
like, whenever he was being douchey and he'd do that kind of douchey like laugh.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you little motherfucker. Every time he do that, I'm like, you son of a bitch.
He could have been in New Japan on grade.
Yeah, as a top heel.
As a top heel, yeah. Dude was heel.
I do want to say real quick, I thought the marble thing was kind of bullshit. How they didn't have any rules to it, and they just said, do whatever you want. Whoever ends up with all the marbles wins. I thought that was kind of stupid. I was expecting like brawls to break out, and I think in reality that probably would have happened. I don't know.
Weren't they forbidden to like?
Oh yeah, I guess you were right.
Harm?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were.
Okay.
They had to play a game. They weren't, because I think there was a brawl that did break out, and they killed the guy who assaulted them.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about that.
But it was fucked up how they did them. How they like let them kill somebody in the bunk, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, free reign now." So then every night they had to like sleep with one eye open because they were like, "Oh, well, now there's no protection now. If someone wants to kill you at night, you're dead." Like
one guy killed himself. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
That was the guy that had to kill his wife in the game because he partnered with his wife.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You didn't catch that?
Oh, man,
I didn't catch that.
So messed up.
Oh fuck!
Could you imagine that?
I remember.
Yeah. My thoughts on that couple was like, what the hell are they in there for?
They were
what
probably
kind of debts do they owe?
They were probably in debt. Yeah.
She was pregnant. They didn't have enough money.
Is that what it was? She was pregnant.
I don't know. I don't know.
I was like, oh shit, that makes it even worse.
They should have done that. That would have been great.
Right. I don't know.
As soon as they said partner up, and then they put them in that room, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna play a game and against each other." I was like, "Oh no!"
They didn't see that coming.
Yeah, as soon as they said you have to partner up, I'd have been like, "Look, we cannot be partners on this game. Something bad is going to happen." So,
but up until that point, they had not given any indication of that. So everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we just need to team up." And so everybody was like, "Yeah, team up." And then it was just bad. God, that whole episode definitely tore your heart out.
I'll tell you.
Did you almost cry, Dustin? That's what I need to know.
Oh, I cried. I'll admit it. I cried. I don't even need to lie.
Was it just like eyes tearing up kind of cry, or was it like legit tears running down?
No, it was tears, man. I wasn't like bawling or ugly crying or anything, but there was real tears coming down my face.
It would have been like that for me, but I had tissue around, so I made sure so my daughter didn't see it. I pull my glasses up, and I'm like,
I was almost there. I was definitely
had the lump in your throat.
Yeah, eyes were getting watered. Definitely.
Yeah, I felt that when I saw
shit you watched that's desensitized you.
Man, it was the marble game with the two girls was what really got me.
Yeah, that one was.
They're
That
like
one was.
on their
yeah.
lives.
Oh yeah, that because you kind of felt like the other chick until you got her backstory about her orphan brother. You kind of felt like she was a piece of shit too. But then when you found out why, you're like, oh, okay, she's got noble reasons. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Greg, I felt that way when I saw the VIPs. Did that make you sad too?
Dude, you were right about that. I hated those fucking VIPs. I hated everything about them.
They're my most hated movie characters of all time. I fucking hate VIPs. God, I hated them.
The
Why did you
funny
hate
thing about that is
Let's
like,
jump into this.
yeah. Well, why'd you hate him, Lawrence?
Just their dialogue was all shitty. Like how they were just enjoying it, man. Like it was just like betting on ponies or something. These are people's lives, and just they're enjoying
they called
it.
them horses.
Man, they're just sick. They weren't
we bet on
funny
horses,
either.
we bet on humans.
They were so douchey and smarmy. God.
Well, the crazy thing is that I think that there's some truth to that kind of stuff.
Me and Greg said that too.
With rich people, man, they like the old man says in the end, they get bored.
I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
The reason this show was so good to me and the reason I enjoyed it so much is because something like that is probably really happening that we just don't know about.
Oh yeah,
of sorts. Yeah, there was the bumfights.com.
I mean, when everyone thinks of human trafficking and stuff like that, they just automatically pin it all towards sex. But it could be something like that. It could be some sick fucks who just want to watch people kill each other or something like that. I mean, the world's fucked up. So
yeah.
They had no souls, dude. Those VIPs, and there's people like that's the scary thing is there's people who are so rich and so comfortable.
Look at Jeffrey Epstein, fucking kids on his island. Like, maybe I shouldn't
It's
say
whole-
that.
whole
It might
island.
get the video flagged.
Man, all right. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say none.
I mean, they've twisted that story up a lot, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories that come out of that. But the actual legal evidence that's out there is, still, it's legit fucked up weird shit that happened.
the one thing
Some
that I think
Bohemian
all of
Grove
us can
type
agree
shit.
about,
Yeah.
the one thing we can all agree about, we can all agree that Jeffrey Epstein was not a good person.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all.
I don't
By any
know.
means.
I don't know
think he
who would
agrees
ever
with that.
say he was.
Yeah, he killed himself. So
Man,
obviously
you always
he
got
thought
some
he
type of
killed-
sympathizer with something, or some conspiracy theorist that says he was actually doing this, and
Fuck whoever thinks that. Fuck them.
Isn't it crazy? He kind of looked like Anthony Bourdain, and Anthony Bourdain killed himself too.
I'm gonna be honest. I've thought that once or twice.
Look,
I see.
we're not gonna derail the Squid Game talk and talk about fucking Jeffrey Epstein, okay?
Yeah, no, it's
yeah,
not.
sorry.
Yeah, please don't.
But I like the bridge game. Like that one's the one we had the most death on, because people. were just
that's where
dying.
everyone else died.
Yeah, so like, how
That's real
satisfied were y'all whenever fucking Tattoo Faced?
I didn't like that. I hated that bitch for that.
I mean I didn't like that bitch. I mean see, you got me calling her a bitch. What's wrong with you, Lawrence?
Yeah, that's what the tattoo guy called her. So
That's true, he did. But like I didn't like her to begin with. Her character annoyed me from the jump, but it was kind of satisfying to see her finally get her revenge from him fucking her over like that.
Yeah. I'm glad it was her who got to do that,
I'm glad he died.
Yeah.
That was a long
too.
fall from that bridge, man.
Mm-hmm.
You had time to think about that fall.
Yeah.
Like you bust through the glass, you realize that, oh fuck, I stepped on the one that broke, and you're thinking about that as you're going down.
I'll
and
say
then
this though.
all the way to. So yeah,
I'll say this though. It's like they didn't give him much sympathy, did they? The tattoo face guy, like he didn't get a cool backstory of why he was just a thug. He was just, I guess, he just always did that shit. Like, so you couldn't really sympathize with him as much as the pickpocket girl.
Well, I mean, he tried to be bigger than what he was. He was like a little, local neighborhood boss kind of deal, and then he tried to take on the big bosses. And
Yeah, they
Yeah,
kind of
they did
indicated that he was like he was not what he said he was, basically an imposter.
Yeah.
or a wannabe.
Man, well, how would you guys feel if he was the one behind the whole thing?
I would check out. I don't believe he's
No.
dumb.
How would y'all have felt if they would have really thrown a curveball at you and he would have been the one that won the whole thing?
Or that, yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Talk about making people rage, man. People would have lost their shit if it come down to him and Ji-hoon and he ends up killing him.
What would he do with the money? Just be like, buy a new car? Like,
Major spoiler alert, by the way. Ji-hoon wins.
Spending on strippers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of know he's gonna win the whole time. I mean,
Yeah,
he was the main focus of the show. There was times though where I was like, "Are they gonna kill him off? Is this gonna go in a weird direction?"
Well, there
Some
was
Game of
times
Thrones.
when they made me think that there might be more than one winner.
Start.
Because they
Yeah.
towards the beginning they talked about how each person would get this amount if the game ended now and things of that sort. So I was like, oh, there can be more than one winner. That's what
Well,
I
there
thought.
could have been, because the way that the Squid Game, the last game, the Squid Game worked. I mean, when he explains it in the very beginning of the show, the game works as a team game. But it turned out that because San-woo killed the girl, that it was just the two of them together. So I mean, there was possibly.
That's true.
And then I thought they were going to take the Hunger Game route out and just both be like, all right, we give up.
How pissed off were you when he killed that chick when she was already dying anyway?
Bruh, I was mad, dude.
Oh.
I hated him after he killed. The guy's name is Ali. The character's name is Ali, by the way. I looked it up.
Yeah.
When he betrays Ali, I was mad, but I was like, all right, he had to because he had no other choice. If he wanted to live and continue on, he had to fucking kill him. Still hate him for it, but whatever. But then when he kills the girl, it's like,
well,
come
especially
on,
since Ji-hoon could have killed him. And
Yeah.
she stopped him.
Great. But what's crazy, Greg, is even when he did
'Cause
that,
he
he still had a reason to kill her. He still had some good reason why he did it. He's like, I had to do it. I did it because she would have died anyways. It's what she would have wanted. And I'm like, damn, this dude lawyered for himself. But he was never the bad guy in his own mind. That's the crazy thing. And it's like a real person, Just great writing all around.
I mean, Lawrence makes a good point. I mean, he does kind of. He's not really a bad guy. He's just doing what he has to do to survive.
It's like he understands it more than he should. It's like he's seeing the abyss and he just gets it, and you're not supposed to get it on that level. That's why he kills himself. He still kills himself because he's like, if he gives up the money, all those deaths would have been for nothing. So he's still noble in the end because he's like, I'll kill myself so somebody can get this money. It would be all for nothing. All those lives
it was
lost.
that, and he also knew he was defeated, so he was going to die anyway. He was just sparing his friend that
having to kill him.
Having to, I get you.
That heartache way, he still carried that guilt, but he was just saving him that heartache. But
Also, Ji-hoon wasn't going to kill him. Ji-hoon wanted to take the Hunger Games way out and be like, hey, let's just both win. And he was like, no, man, it's not going to work like that.
If they would have quit the game, they
don't know.
They would have got nothing.
I don't know.
I feel like I don't think they would have.
Yeah, because the VIPs were like, are they really just giving it up?
I don't think they would have either.
That's what they kept saying.
Because like Greg said, I always had the feeling.
Them back up.
I did always have the feeling, like Greg said, that there could be multiple winners, though. But I don't know. It did seem like in the very end, they did have to kill each other or do something. I don't know.
Because there was only two of them left. If there would have been more people left at the end, then yeah, because the actual game that they played worked as a team game too. So if there was two teams, then whatever team won would have probably won the money. But that wouldn't have made as interesting a show.
I don't know what just happened with the connection, but Hayden's little shit he's got in the background there started speeding up, and it looked like it was going out of control.
Well, yeah, I started talking, and because I didn't think you were talking, and then all of a sudden you started like, it was like we were going over each other.
It was funny because it looked like you put that shit on fast forward.
I think
Everyone's internet's fucked up.
Oh wait, wrong one.
But all right, so we've already touched on all the games and the characters. The ending. Let's go to that. So we find out that the old man, his name is like Ill something, I forget, but he's behind the whole thing. He's the one who actually set up the whole Squid Game, invited the VIPs, got everyone involved, all that shit. And just because he was bored.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was bored.
I didn't like it.
One last time.
I didn't like it. I mean, I thought it was cool that he, the guy behind it decided to be a part of the games, but that whole like back and forth they had when he was on the hospital bed and how he was just like, look, let's make a wager on this homeless guy down the street. It's like, that was, I didn't get it. Like, what? Why are they betting on this homeless guy?
This is why he did that. This is my take on that. The reason he did that is because that was his final win. Like, even at the very end, when he's about to die, he still was in control. He was still controlling Ji-hoon the entire time. Like, the outcome, he was all about always controlling the outcome, and that's what he did. And like, he was such a narcissist that like, just watching the shit wasn't good enough for him. He had to participate too.
I hope I don't grow up like that, man.
But the moment that like I knew, like I suspected from episode 1 that he's got a bigger role to play in this. Like he's got something to do with it.
Yeah.
Really?
But like
yeah.
just because of how like he was the oddball of like all the other people. All the other people seemed normal, or like like normal people struggling in society, and he seemed more
different.
If it makes sense, more happy, like more content with where he was in life. If that makes any sense.
And he was number 1, so I knew something was weird with that.
But like the moment that I knew that he was still alive was whenever the episode 7, like right after when they show them take Ali out in the coffin. But you never see him. I'm like, you know what? We didn't see him die. He's still alive. Like, because all you heard was a gunshot.
I mean, they do say that if you don't see the dead body, then that means that they might be alive. And that goes back to what I was saying before about
every person that died.
Yeah, they did.
Greg, that's way too smart, dude. How did you think of that? Because like I would just dismissed it as they just didn't have time. They cut some editing or something. They just didn't put him in there, forgot or something. But you actually thought of all that before?
I've watched a lot of television, man. I've watched a lot of TV with shows with a lot of twists.
That's like some.
But
I didn't think he was the guy behind the games, though. So
I actually, my original theory was that he was like gonna be one of the VIPs, not the actual one running it. Like he was gonna be one of the people that paid to be there and things of that sort. I didn't think he'd be the one that actually created the damn thing at first, but as it went on, I just was suspicious of it.
No, it's funny. It's like my pothead friend from work. He was telling me about it. I wasn't listening. He was spoiling it on accident. He said, "Oh, I should have told you that, man. The old man." All I heard was "old man," and I heard something about running something, and I just completely didn't listen to what he was saying. And I watched. I'm like, "That's what he was fucking talking about." I was pissed.
Of all the fucking spoilers that guy could have gave you, he gives the biggest one.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it at the time. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like, I don't pay attention to half the shit he says. But
literally that ruins the show. If you know that, it ruins the whole thing.
Exactly.
Like with all the deaths, he could have spoiled a death, but you kind of expect that anyway because it's a game about people fucking dying. When you tell
eventually people are going to die.
One of the players is the guy that's in charge of the whole thing.
He's like, it's fucked up, that old man. I can't believe he was doing all this stuff. I'm like, huh? I'm like, what are you talking about? Shut up, and we'll go back to work. And then I went home, watched it, and I'm like, oh, that's what he was talking about. And they kind of like fucked it up. But it was only after I had seen it and I put 2 and 2 together. But
I can't remember. That was 1 year later, right? Or was the 1 year later after the old man?
The 1 year later was after. That's when you see the old man. Or no, actually, the 1 year later was after the old man. You're right, because that's when he started spending the money. Yeah, because he started spending the money after that, because he never touched the money before.
Yeah.
That's why the old man summoned him, because he wasn't using the money at all. He had touched a dime of it.
And that was part of his game too. The game was still continuing for the old man. He wanted to see what he was going to do with the money and things like that. And he was bored because he wasn't fucking doing what he wanted him to do.
Exactly.
So.
Why did he get a haircut and dye his hair? Though?
I was like, why did he turn into a woman? He look at a woman picture. It was like, I want to be that. Is he going through a transgender or something?
No, he went to the K-pop. He went through his K-pop phase before.
I don't know what the fuck you are talking about. Okay, like colored hair is in everywhere I look now. Somebody's got blue hair, so don't be hating on this dude just because he chose a color other than blue. All right.
He popped up. He just popped out like on my screen. He's just red. I'm like, okay, cool.
You know what? I like that though, because that's a very like
a nod to K-pop,
Asian-y kind of thing to do in a show like that.
Asian-y.
because they're quirky like that, man. They'll do weird shit like that. If you've ever played any of the Yakuza games or anything like that, you know exactly what I was talking about. But
I played Tekken, so I kind of know what you mean.
There you go. That's close enough. So other than the old man stuff,
yeah,
we get to the part to where he sees that guy in the subway playing the game. That guy. You know, right before the entry game is what we'll call it, to get into the Squid Game. Yeah. And like he confronts that, he gets the card and calls the number right before he's about to board that plane.
Yeah.
But then he's gonna go back to the Squid Game.
He's gonna stop it. He's gonna investigate them and expose them.
He's gonna get himself killed, is what he's gonna do.
That's the part of the intrigue.
And he skipped going to see his daughter.
We completely ignored talking about a major plot line in the show that we haven't talked about at all.
Yeah,
the cop. And all that stuff. Yeah. Like, I was so wondering where they were going to go with that. I was expecting, like, a SWAT team to eventually show up at the island.
See, they knew you were thinking that, Greg. And
I know. And then...
He was brothers with that guy.
See, what I suspected was that, like, I didn't realize the front man was going to be his brother. I thought his brother was going to be one of the VIPs also. Like, you know, he won the game, and as a luxury, you get to come back and, you know, like... witness him because you're like some guy who looked
just like him in the game though. Like in the first game, some guy dies and it looked just like him later on.
Well, they are Asian.
Oh, never mind.
I thought they all was
joking. There really were a couple times where I got the childhood friend and the organ guy, the doctor guy. The doctor. I got them confused all the time. Like, I was like, oh, his childhood friend, who's the businessman, is going to chop up the organs?
Well, like, what did y'all think of the finale with the cop thing? Like, I love the fact that he managed to keep staying in there by, like, just stealing disguises. Like, first he was one of the
I loved it, yeah.
He was one step ahead at all times till the end.
I loved that plotline because it explained, like, the other side of the Squid Game. So
exactly.
Yeah, it was like perfect, but it played into the story well too. So, like Lauren said, really good writing because it explained everything else from the other side, and it kept you intrigued with its own like backstory plotline.
Another thing,
who those guys
I think
were.
a thing that also really glued me to the show was the visuals, man. Like the sets, the costumes, all that shit.
Yeah. The music.
Was just so intriguing.
That
like,
baby thing.
The music.
The big baby doll.
Is so good.
I want that baby doll.
I want to order that big baby doll thing. I want that as like a background piece.
Oh, it's so creepy.
I was actually gonna tell you to use the Squid Game music for this episode entry, but then I remembered all the copyright shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny because I was like whistling one of the little Squid Game themes earlier. The
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah. It's all cheerful.
I know, but the music was great, man. The costumes was great. I think this is almost, other than the problems people had with the ending of it, I think this was almost the perfect TV show.
Well, Greg, I'll say this. I'm surprised we didn't talk about Inspector Royale, because that was the big thing with me, was figuring out what that even was. What is this Inspector Royale again? Because I didn't...
When you start the actual game, Squid Game, you start on 1 foot. You have to get past that first line of defense to be able to use your 2 feet. Once you're able to use 2 feet, you become the Inspector Royale.
You know what? What's funny to me? It's like the beginning of the show, they tell all the rules of the Squid Game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anyone else remember that shit when the end came and they had to explain it?
I did. I did because I thought the game sounded cool. I was like, this sounds like fun, man. Like, this would have been a fun game to play,
in America,
like in elementary school.
Except that it was fucking violent.
It wasn't that violent. I mean, dude, we used to play Rover and shit, dodgeball. Those are all violent games.
I don't, man.
Pod Wars.
Did you see the beginning of the Squid Games? They were basically fighting to get past each other.
What about smear the keyword?
Smear the person.
Smear the LGBTQIA person.
Oh, I remember that game.
You know damn well that's not what that meant back then. Come on.
Times have changed.
Could you imagine now if
All it meant back
you
then
went
was
to
like
a
the odd
picnic
man
or
out.
something, and you were like, "Hey," and you get a football, and you're like, "Hey, let's play smear the."
You know what? Why do we go here? Why do we go down these?
We got to
roads?
be careful, man. They're trying to cancel Dave Chappelle.
I don't know how. Again, they're trying to cancel him again.
They're doing a better job this time.
Oh, just leave him alone. Let him do stand up. Oh my god.
Man, they really love
want him
canceling
dead,
comedians, don't they?
Have you not watched the new? Have you not watched his new special on Netflix?
I haven't
No,
yet,
not yet.
but I can't wait.
You should.
Oh yeah, I have to see this like soon.
This
Squid
is
Game.
why
Back to Squid Game. Hold on, we're
Okay.
jumping all over the place here. What do y'all think? So obviously, there's going to be a season 2 because this show is fucking insanely popular and everybody loves it. I do have one friend who's like not jumping in the trend. He's like, oh, I don't know. It's like everyone's talking about how great it is. You know, usually when shows like that happen, it makes me not want to watch them. I'm like, you need to watch this shit.
I bet it's Sean.
Doesn't matter who's saying it.
Lawrence has said that he's like that, and he actually watched the show and liked it. So
Yeah, exactly.
And
I
no,
watched
it's not
Breaking
Sean.
Bad yet.
Actually, Sean was waiting for me to finish Squid Game to talk to me about it. So
We love you, Sean.
yeah, with all our heart and soul. But like, what would y'all like? Do you think they can capture this magic again? Could they do this in a season 2?
I don't
like,
know.
It was so good. I don't know that they could ever top that tier. I mean, like they up here, there's no way they'll ever reach that pinnacle again.
I'll say this: like, this was so good that if they ended this series, I would have been content. It was that good, and I never say
Me
this
too,
about it.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd be okay if they didn't make another one.
I'll tell you what I don't want to see is a continuation from where they ended it. Like, I don't want to see the guy go back and try to fight the Squid Game. I wouldn't mind if he made a cameo or something, but I really hope he's not like a main story thread. Yeah.
What I don't want something to come out that is going to make the original look worse. Because to me, like right now, it is like it's just perfection.
Well, Greg,
And like anytime stuff comes out, you know, other seasons, then people start going back and looking at the original and being like, oh, maybe it wasn't as good as we thought it was. And
yeah.
I
Greg,
don't like that shit. I
remember-
don't want it to get spoiled or.
Remember what I said about Game of Thrones? And I was like, Game of Thrones can do no wrong. And how I watched it for like hours and hours, just watch it. And then season 8 came out. And I said, what did they do? Like just all that for nothing. And it was the
people bitch about that a lot, but people don't understand. Like, they didn't want to do this show anymore. The actors did not want to do the show anymore. They had to rush the ending. They had to finish. They had to end it.
Was it so bad though, Dustin? Like,
I didn't think it was that bad.
No, I'm saying like the conditions for the actors to end it. It's like you guys are getting paid like millions to act.
I don't know that I buy into that idea that much anyway. Maybe Daenerys didn't want to do the show anymore because she's been in other shit since then. But all the other people, where the fuck are they?
I'm telling you, it's like common knowledge. You can read articles about it, that the actors were tired of the long, they spent like 60 days recording one scene. Like, they were done. They didn't care about the money anymore. They didn't want to make the show anymore.
Okay,
they had to end it.
Here's the thing, Justin. You're on the most popular show of all time.
You're on to something there. But at the same time, you know what else the actors were tired of doing and such like that because of long things like that? Fucking Lord of the Rings. But they didn't botch that third movie. That third movie is most people's favorite.
It's a movie. You're talking about 8 seasons of a show, dude. You're talking about... Arya Stark was like 9 years old when they started making that show, and now she's like 20.
Dude,
she was 20 years old when they finished making the show.
It took them like 5 years to
People
film.
Have spent half their life on the show. They didn't want to do it anymore.
Dude, I've spent 5 years at a casino. Greg spent 10 years at a Walmart.
I'm just saying, they're actors. They want to do different shit.
What if they
don't want to?
I'm with Greg on that.
Hold on, let me get this out. Excluding the reshoots that they had to do, Lord of the Rings took them like 5 years just for the first time to film. They filmed them all at once, that's true. But 5 fucking years, dude. So, like, I mean, there's no reason they couldn't have made it better, is what I'm saying.
They had to end the show. They had to rush the writing. They had to get it done. They also had nothing to go off of either.
They had to end the show. You're right. They had to end the show.
Because George R. R. Martin cut him off. He's like, man, what the fuck y'all doing with my shit?
Dude, someone needed to put that guy at gunpoint and just make him write the finale. Like, I don't understand why he backed out.
All the other seasons were based off of his... And nobody knew how the show was supposed to end. And he didn't give his input, so... And then he complained about it at the end, just like everybody else. Well, that's not what I would have done. Well, then why the fuck weren't you consulting them?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, too.
Well, that's because they started doing that early on. Don't make it sound like they only did that the last season. They started going away from George R. R. Martin's fucking storyline that he had laid out a long time ago. I've read all the books, so I know this to be a fact. They fucking left so much shit out, and they completely just... made it a TV version is the best way I could describe it.
Oh, it's a TV show. So.
But I mean, like, they almost treated the viewers like they were too dumb to handle some of the other shit that was in the books. That's what pissed me off.
Well, because the show gained so much popularity that their viewership probably was pretty dumb and simple at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's like Call of Duty games. I mean, you can't make those open world. People just want simple. Just play them over and over.
At the same time, though, I got a big fucking problem with George R. R. Martin right now. I'm like, you know what, dude? You need to finish these damn books. You've been writing this next book for how many years now?
He's doing it on purpose. Greg, he did it on purpose to spite them because of the fact that they were changing stuff. He said, all right, I'll sit on my ass and let you finish it. And look what happened. He did it on purpose, man. That shit's insane.
Well, I heard it's because he wanted to do coke and fuck bitches. That's what I heard.
I mean, could be that. That's probably the more likely scenario.
I mean, I didn't have a huge problem with the way... I know everybody else did, but I was just like, whatever. It is what it is. Yes, could it have been done better? Yeah, of course, but whatever. It's over now.
You know what? I'm going to say this. In regards to the ending of Game of Thrones, which is getting spoiled here, by the way, just like Squid Games, it should have been Tyrion on the fucking Iron Throne, not fucking Bran Stark.
Yeah, I didn't.
Jon Snow. What the fuck?
Well, Jon Snow never wanted to be in charge.
But that's why he's perfect, because he doesn't want to be it, so he's the rightful king.
Well, the thing is it would have been like the perfect redemption story for Tyrion. Like,
okay, I see what you're saying.
Because, I mean, like, he went from being the fucking joke.
Plus, it made
Actually,
no
they-
sense for Brandon Stark to
honestly,
be the king. Like,
What
what?
they should have done is taken the character that everyone hated, that they made everyone love, Jaime Lannister, and made him the fucking king. Take the King Slayer and bring him onto the throne to be the
Oh,
king.
dude, because the Lannisters needed to be out of power. I don't want to see another Lannister on the throne. I'm tired of the Lannisters.
What's y'all's thoughts on Cersei? Did you hate her?
I thought she was hot.
Oh, God.
Honestly.
I wish she would have died a more brutal death. That was one of my biggest problems with the ending.
I will say towards the end of the series, like I think it was the final season, maybe even or maybe the one before it. I don't remember, but when she's sitting up there, when they blow up that chapel, what was it? I forget what they call it.
I don't know. Church of the Seven Sun.
Seven
Mother.
Some mother.
It's when they play that cool
Very
ass.
well.
I'm back.
We know the scene where the wildfire comes out, or the wild something.
That was awesome. Like Cersei Lannister never looked more badass than in that scene.
When she first cuts her hair, yeah, she was pretty legit. Too legit to quit.
She didn't cut her hair. They cut her hair off.
No, within the real actress, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. That's right. Because her pussy ass son didn't want to help her, man.
We went from Squid Game to Game of Thrones.
Then he jumps off a building. Like, dude, you could be fighting these people off.
What if they would have brought Joffrey back as a zombie to sit on the Iron Throne?
Oh god.
I mean, people hated that guy. People hated that guy so much that he quit acting.
Yeah,
I know.
Him and Draco Malfoy suffer from douchebag.
He was like, dude, I don't want to do this shit anymore because people are just gonna look at me as fucking Joffrey.
Yeah,
so he quit acting and he opened a theater company in England or something.
I mean, if I ever see that kid walk in the streets, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
We're doing that.
He was just getting mad hate on social media and stuff, and he was like, "Man, fuck this."
They were punching his soul.
That sucks.
Every time they'd see him, they'd be like, "Man, fuck you."
I mean,
what would you guys like to see
threats,
in the next season of Squid Game?
But all right,
have you guys already said?
I'm glad you asked that because that's what I was That's what I was trying to get to before we jumped to Game of Thrones. Since we cannot stay on one fucking topic on this podcast to save our fucking lives, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm like with
I think they could leave it alone and it would be okay.
Here.
I mean, they kind of they ended it on a cliff, but at the same time, there's not really that much where you're like, oh, I have to find out what happens next.
The only thing
because it's so wide open. Like, what could happen? Is he going to go back? Is he going to infiltrate them? What is the next step?
If they go the infiltration route, that's stupid. The only way that they could do the infiltration route is if they do the absolute power corrupts absolutely route, which means basically Ji-hoon becomes one of them.
Oh God, no!
He becomes the new front man or the new runner of the Squid Games, whatever. But he only does it as a means to stop them. So you got the big twist later on being that he did it to destroy the Squid Games. However, he sacrificed all these lives to do so. So they'd have to go a route like that for it to live up to the hype. If they just do the fucking, I'm going to come back guns a-blazing and stop all you motherfuckers, it's stupid because you're going against the elitist of the world. You don't stand a fucking chance, just you, without an army.
But he has all that money now, so he's using it against them. Think about it.
You don't think they have more money than him? They're the ones who funded his ass. Trust me, they got more money.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they could just leave it alone, and it would be all right. I know it was a phenomenon, and it took the world by storm. But I mean, just let it. Like Greg said,
they've already announced that there's going to be more, so you can forget
already,
about it. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think the last thing I read is a minimum of 4 seasons. So.
Oh man.
Well, they definitely won't be able to capture the magic of the first one was too perfect, and honestly, there's like Greg said that. I mean, that would really be the only route, but even that route is kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, even that's not as good as the original. There's just no topping it.
Well,
Like,
But I'll watch it.
I guess we'll just have to put our faith into Asian writing, since seems to be
Koreans
superior
make
as of
some
late
good shit,
to
man,
American writing.
I'll say this: I liked how they still referred to him as a player, like they're like player 461 turnaround. Like he was still, even though he's out of the game, they still look at
That's
him.
where we
Yeah.
fucked up on this podcast. See, we're all trying to call them by names and be professional and shit. That's what we should have did. We should have called them by their numbers the entire time.
That's how they
We
see them,
failed.
as like cattle. Like they don't even see them as human. They're like 461. Like that's so dehumanizing.
The same as when at least whenever people bet on horse races, they at least call them by whatever their horse race name is.
Seabiscuit.
They don't just call them by the number.
Area.
Steve Biscuit.
Well, did any of you guys notice, like, that line that you just said where they tell him to turn around? Did anyone else think that means they're, like, surveilling him?
They are, yeah.
And, like, earlier on, like, after the first game, and then they vote to quit or whatever, and then most of them come back to play still. There was a line where the front man says, like, keep surveillance on the ones that didn't come back. So I'm kind of wondering...
Oh, then shit,
Yeah,
yeah, that
I
just
don't
told you
know,
everything
like-
right there.
I don't know. I think
'cause
that's
they're
cool. I
watching
guess
them
is
to
what I'm
make sure
trying to say.
I guess that they don't like go to the authorities.
My thoughts on that is that they had surveillance on him from the jump. They already had their people picked out. I mean, that's the reason they approached him with that creepy ass guy with the little paper
That
game.
smooth dude.
That
yeah.
is true. Yeah.
I like that dude, though,
I like
man.
him too. His little smile.
Yeah, they definitely weren't just going up to random people. They definitely knew who they were going after.
Oh,
I don't
well,
know.
so that's it. Squid Game.
Hold on.
It was.
Let me ask you this, guys. What was the point of that game where they threw the paper down? Like, because if they lose, what does he get from them? If they like, because they get 100,000.
I think the game was rigged.
Really?
I think it was rigged. Yeah, I think he had that blue paper rigged to where he's going to win every time.
But what does
Yeah,
he
it
get
was-
if you lose, though? If he
He gets to
keeps
slap
winning,
the shit out of him until he's ready
That's
to
it?
let him go in. It's a power move,
Yeah.
dude. He's an elitist too. It's all power moves.
He's
power moves.
he's conditioning them right there. It's
Yeah.
like grooming, the same kind of thing. Like he's just grooming them to get ready, and then eventually he lets them win, and they win.
oh,
Yeah, he was
They want
taming
a
him,
taste.
just like
That's
you
a
do a
taste
horse.
of it. Yeah, he was
Yep.
giving him a taste of it, and then got it.
It's nuts. Damn, what a good show.
Plus, you don't know what you're going. I mean, all of them signed up not knowing that they were going to be going to their deaths.
Oh shit!
Because you
Yeah.
see that in the beginning with the red light, green light, and I mean that knocks off 75% of the people
Yeah.
playing the game.
That's another thing too. Is like, yeah, they signed up for it, but nobody read that shit. They had no idea what the fuck they were signing up for.
Well, if you, I don't know what the subtitle version is like, but when they show the contracts, they say like you're giving up all of your physical and like mental rights or whatever.
Oh,
They
shit.
call it something else, but yeah.
All right, guys. Let's. I want to touch on some other things because before we wrap this up, Lawrence, we have been planning a couple of watch-alongs for before Halloween, which is obviously we're not going to make it in time, but we were still going to do the Night of the Living Dead and the original because we can actually do a watch-along with that and stream it.
Yeah, have it right
And
here.
we could also we were going to do the original 13 Ghosts, which I've never seen. So when did you
Never
want to
seen
do
13
those?
Ghosts? I've actually seen that movie, and you haven't.
I saw it a
Not the
long
new
time
one,
ago.
the original.
Oh, the original.
Oh, I didn't know there was an original.
Of course you did.
Remember how we used to do that back in the day?
Hayden, are you frozen? It's funny, like we were sitting there talking, and all I had was Hayden like a disgusted look on his face.
$4.99.
No, I'm
Yeah,
here.
that's-
Original black and white.
but So Lawrence, I'm gonna let you do the honors of sending us out of here tonight.
All right, guys. Anyone want to plug in anything before we get off here? Start with you, Hayden. Got anything coming up on Cornelius?
Nothing really planned, but just go check my channel out, the Cornelius Collection, and yeah.
We're gonna put it all in the descriptions and let y'all know what we're doing. We still have merchandise for sale: t-shirts, coffee mugs. We got it all. We got water bottles, book bags. Just check out our site. And Greg, what you got coming up, man? Are you and Dustin doing the
I
NFL?
am eventually, if I can ever get. No, he's failed me on that. So we're just.
We can't coordinate a day.
Nix that. Maybe once playoffs hit in, we'll do some shows. I don't know. Because he doesn't want to stay up late enough. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, sorry, I have to get up at 5:30 in the morning.
I'm gonna finish up my. Are you gonna let me get this out or not? Shut
Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Hayden, you'll be excited to hear that I'm going. Jesus fucking Christ, man! I hate y'all, motherfuckers. I just want you to know that. Hayden, you'll be excited to hear that I'm going to start the Greatest Heavyweights streams up here soon to try to finish out my career on that.
Cool.
So I'm going to start doing those again. I got to get this internet issue fucking fixed first. So man, this Wi-Fi shit is just fucking everything up.
It's a nightmare.
I got to get hardwired.
Yeah, go hardwire.
But that's all I got.
And guys, I just uploaded.
Yeah. Well, actually, before we get out of here, go ahead.
I just uploaded on Only Bat Fans. I've consolidated all my comic book review videos onto that now. So that is going to be used for talking all superheroes, comic books, things like that. So I just uploaded last week a book I had just read, a comic book. It was the Graveyard Shift Volume 1 by John Malin. Check that review out. It's only 17
That looks
long.
cool, by the way. I kind of want that.
That the independent comic scene
awesome.
is where you want to go.
That.
If you like the 90s comics from like Todd McFarlane, Spawn, all that stuff that they were doing back in the 90s, what they're doing now with this group called Comicsgate and these independent comics writers is bringing that back. Because the mainstream comics, I don't know if you've seen it lately, is nothing like what you remembered as a kid. It's no more of the buff dudes. Yeah. It's comics now are pretty much just nothing like what we remembered. So I went independent recently, and that's what I review. That's all I read, and I just try to review it for you guys to figure out that don't know about the independent comic scene to check those out and see. But yeah, it does look cool, man. Check it out, man. I'll let you see it sometime, Greg.
But before we get out of here, thank you to our Patreon subscribers, all 5 of them. If you haven't signed up yet, go sign up. Help us out. We appreciate it. We're gonna upload some stuff there soon, new stuff. I might actually.
Can we Patreon ourselves?
We can, but that's kind of sad. Shout out to
ourselves. Do some like naked shows.
I'd be down with that. I'm not even wearing pants right now, so.
Me neither.
No one's just don't stand up.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Until next time.
Slack off.
Slack off.